Hello, this is OtakuSolutions. This time, I'll introduce a new feature in BipedPlus. A lot of subculture games and high-quality console games are coming out, and there's one rigging look you really need to pay attention to. It's scenes like these. Subculture games often build their business around appealing characters, so they put a lot of work into beautiful body depiction. Lately, interest in how legs are depicted has gone way up. In many games, including Zenless Zone Zero, leg depiction is handled with a lot of care. Games like Girls Frontline also have some impressive leg work. You might think the thigh bone and knee bone just need to fold, right? In actual 3D, that look doesn't come out well. I'll show you. Usually, you get something like this. Up to about 90 degrees it looks natural. But if you bend the knee all the way, it gets really awkward. That's called the candy wrap phenomenon. The flesh looks crushed. This is a limitation of 3D bone structure. It's a single hinge fold, so there's not much you can do. A real calf doesn't move on one pivot. It opens slightly and slides as it bends. So this is kind of unavoidable, but don't worry. A new feature has been added. There's now a double knee option on the Build tab. I'll check this option when I build, then build, and show you how it changes. Much more natural, right? The texture comes back to life, and it looks a lot more natural. Let's compare it with before. This is for teaching, so please bear with me. If you skin with a basic biped setup, you get this. No matter how well you paint weight, this part won't go away. The candy wrap is pretty bad, right? Apply double knee in advanced rigging mode, and it looks like this. Even when you lift the leg, it reads much more naturally like this. Even in a crouching pose like this, it's much more natural. Compared to before, that's a big improvement, right? Of course, there are still parts that need work. Don't worry, with the new knee module, you can see that this kind of look is possible. Now let's compare them. If you understand anatomically why the knee doesn't work on a single pivot, your rigging gets better. There's a YouTuber who explains this really well. In Kotey Annan's video, he explains in detail why basic 3D rigging is a hard time making knees look natural. I'll leave a link in the description. Several methods are introduced, and I judged double knee to be the most efficient, so I used that as a reference. It's a Maya rigging approach, but I implemented it myself to fit 3ds Max and Biped. This is OtakuSolutions. I'll walk you through the advanced module, double knee. To use double knee, check the checkbox next to leg link. At the same time, the knee bone selection in extra is turned off. That's because it's already included in the double knee option. Check the checkbox, then press build. Everything else is the same as usual. Do I case setup the normal way? I'll explain what's different. Compared to the regular leg module, I'll hide seg for a moment and check the changes around the knee. A push system is applied that updates values in real time based on the bend angle of the leg. You can easily check push weight, and you can freely adjust the push system value with this controller. Another change: a recent BipedPlus update changed the seg controller shape to a box. Depending on how much push you want, how tightly the legs press together, you can set how much deformation to apply. For example, when you fold the leg, the calf gets thicker. You can set how much on the z-axis, and the position as well. I'll show an example in the next video. Hi, using the Mabel example, I'll explain how to set up the calf. This is educational material, so please excuse any exposure. Let's start the leg rigging. With the previous settings, the knee overlaps a lot like this. That's the structure we have right now. You might say, it's an advanced rigging module, why does it look the same? The value is currently set to 0. I'll increase it. Can you feel the difference? It opens a bit, right? This value sets how far it opens. Anatomically, the knee pivot isn't locked in one place. The knee bone actually drops down a little. I tried expressing that open look in rigging, and this approach was much more versatile and worked better. In the end, the key is finding the most natural, right value. A value of 5 opens it too much. I'll bring it down a bit. Let's try a value of 2. If you push it too far, it looks unnatural. Four is a bit unnatural, right? This is how you dial the value in. I'll set the value to 2 for now. I'll set a keyframe. At 2, it opens just a little like this. Even this alone is much better than before. I set it a bit conservatively because there's more we still need to set. Once push is set, we'll move on to the next step. Animators should not touch this setting. When you load or merge a rigging file with FastRef, or save as a new name, the keys become editable. Riggers and animation touch must lock any values that animators should not touch. That's why we made the lock feature. Once you lock it, the value no longer changes. And next, please select just this knee area. You only need 2 settings. When the leg folds, the thigh flesh should compress and spread sideways. So select the middle part and let's apply scale. Give it a natural amount of scale like this. About 1.3 is a good amount. The form is better than before, right? Keep shaping it this way. Set this to 1.2, 1 as well. Center looks good. The knee rising a little is nice too, right? Good. If it stretches too much it looks off, so just enough that you can tell. Now let's check it in clay view. Much cleaner and nicer to look at. When it compresses, it shouldn't only stretch sideways, it should squash a bit vertically too. I'll set this to 0.8. Good. If we check it in various poses, when the leg folds, you get a nice slight stretch in the thigh. The front looks fine too. Keep shaping the shape this way. Overall, it's good. I'd like this curve to look a bit nicer, but that's a weight issue, so I'll fix it separately. There's a bit of a bulge, but it's fine. It's much better than having none. Looking at the skin bone structure, the large joints open like this, and the subs get scale applied. Even with these settings in place, animators can still freely adjust the shape. Aiming for this kind of versatile rigging is important. There's still more to refine, but I'm showing the big picture first. Once the left side is done, apply the same values to the right. Just put in the same values like this. In this video I reset the values and set them myself, but the defaults based on Mabel should already be in there. For a typical human body, the defaults already look fairly natural, but they can't be perfect. So if you see something that needs a tweak, unlock and adjust the controller, then lock it again when you're done. Together with stretch squash, you can get a natural body look when the legs press together. Much more natural. In the next video, I'll show a more finely polished version. Here's Mabel's full look. When you bend the legs like this, the thighs look much more natural and nice. It seems to reach about the knee look of girls' front line too. This much isn't awkward at all, and the knee look is really good. Much more natural than before. Before, it was pretty unnatural. Let me show an example. Originally, if you bend at the waist, the knees overlap a lot like this. They overlap really badly. Just looking at it, it's unnatural. Painting weight can soften it a little, but the real problem is that they overlap way too much. Compared to that, this is much more natural. You can keep the knee thickness and still get the thigh compression. The thigh compression looks a bit strong, but it's still much better. That wraps up the explanation on the knee. I keep realizing this, but knee rigging is pretty hard even for mid-level and senior riggers. Studios do ask for this kind of rigging quality, and it's really difficult even for senior riggers. So here's what I want to say. If you're doing rigging at this level, you're already beyond a pure animator. It's rare for someone to be strong at both rigging and animation. I'm decent at rigging, but I'm clumsy at animation. It's natural that this feels hard. This isn't regular rigging territory. If it feels hard, that's not your fault. If your CEO or president is asking for this level of rigging, I'd strongly recommend hiring a specialist rigger or animation TA. It's a small area, but you really have to care about it, especially on characters with a lot of FPS gun shouldering motion or kicks. Knee rigging often ends up as a one-off. There are blend shape, extra joint, corrective methods, and more, but a lot of studios use something close to hardcoding. BipedPlus, on the other hand, is designed to be versatile. It's not a setup locked to one character. You can tweak it right from option. That's the mark of well-designed rigging. If you're using BipedPlus, you're on really good infrastructure. I feel again that asking an animator for this level of rigging is a lot, and animators, you really have it tough. Thanks for watching. This has been Otaku Solutions.